Alright, hi. Let's get this video started. So my name is Brian, and this is my video for Principles of Management, and I'm gonna be talking about the functions of management, and there are four. I'm gonna be talking about the functions of management and how they're related to the hierarchy of power or managerial hierarchy. So there are four functions of management, and they are controlling, planning, organizing, and leading. Um, some people say that staffing is also in there, but I kind of consider that to be under leading. I don't know, it makes me remember it way easier. So I'm gonna start talking about planning. So planning, it's all the managers have to do it, but the the ones with more effect on the company as a whole would be the planning of the CEO and pretty much the top managers and the middle managers, because they're the ones who make decisions that change the company in short term or long term. So pretty much they generate plan, whether it's immediate, short term, medium term, long term periods. Long term periods usually mean that the company change, not in a big way, but like a small way that could affect the whole company differently. So it is making decisions for future actions, pretty much, and it is also a guideline and execution and then implementation. So this works for the first time managers more, I guess, because then when they give the plan to their employees, then the employees can just follow the plans as guidelines to what they have to do in order to do a better job. And then the second one is organizing, and organizing involves determination in a group of activities. And then so pretty much everyone has to organize. Most all the managers has to organize. Sorry, I don't really know how to word it properly. um, for example, it is well, nothing works better than being an organized unit. So as managers, I guess they have to make their employees organize themselves properly in order to work better, work more efficiently. And this could organizing could mean many different things on a different level based on what the hierarchy is. So for example, top manager, it could be organizing the whole company as a whole, right? Middle managers could be organizing what's happening in the plant, while first line manager supervisor organizes the employees, right? It also defines authorities for departments and job positions. For example, the first time manager, when someone applies to get the job, they have to interview them, and it's their job. This is why I connected with staffing, because it's their job to find the right person for the job needed. Like for example, they need the job for heavy lifting. Then you just can't pick some really skinny guy to just pick the heavy stuff up. You need a bigger guy, and I think that's why staffing comes under organizing. And not only that, but it also defines relationships between departments and job positions. The company have different departments, and so they too must be organized. And on a higher level, I guess, in the whole plant itself, the middle manager will have to do it. For an example, actually, my mom is a middle manager. She takes she watches over the plant that she works. She's a paint chemist, and but she's the plant manager, and what she does is she looks over the different departments so that they're all working together in an organized fashion, and then so they can have more, they could produce more paint, pretty much. And then third one, third one is leading. So this is probably the most important function in managing, because a manager who can't lead is probably just, at least in my eyes, just another person that bosses people around, and no one likes that. So what they do is, as a leader, being a good leader can change the way someone works. I've experienced having bad leaders, and they just really make the time harder. Like, as an employee, it just makes working seem harder and more annoying, pretty much. I worked in Hawaii about a year ago, and I worked as a cook, and my boss, her name was Losa, and she would always like give us so much lecturing on like being talkative, or like she didn't want us to be pretty much free. Like, she would always restrain us to do so many things, and she wasn't such a good leader. She would always just shout at us. She wouldn't like she wouldn't even consider if someone like during finals week, she didn't even care. Like, she made us stay in the kitchen because there was a lot of customers, so she made us stay even when it was finals week, and that like kind of made it hard for us since we had to work and then study at the same time. We couldn't really quit. So a leader makes all the difference. What if she was a good leader? I think that I would have just worked my best, like, and then I don't know, she just didn't give enough like decisions for, like, I guess, yeah, decisions for us to make, something like that. And then so the leader, yeah, it says coordinate various people and their activities. So he brings people together. He or she brings people together, and that's what a leader is. They bring people together in order to work together more efficiently. And then the leaders are also the trainers. That's why staffing also comes in the leaders. They're also the ones who trains, who they monitor everyone, they counsel the workers. They're also, I guess, related to this recruiting. Yeah. And then the last one is controlling, and probably one of the most important next to leading. I mean, they're all pretty important. And then controlling is pretty much, it's in all level of managerial hierarchy. So they all control someone lower than them, and it sets standards or norms for performance. So it makes the manager below the hierarchy, or as the pyramid goes on, like, it sets the standards. Like, they could set the standards for the ones below them. Could you understand what I'm saying? It's so hard to word it. I'm so sorry. It measures actual performance against the plans. So sometimes performance doesn't always like stay with the plans, and most of the time it does happen, and when it happens, then it's great. But I think controlling, what managers have to do is that they have to actually measure how the performance of the employee and how it is going with the short term, long term, or medium term plan. And so, yeah, it's pretty much controlling is. And they periodically review, evaluate, and monitor the performance of each employee. So, top managers, they they monitor the performance of the middle manager, and the middle manager monitor the performance of the first time manager, and the first time manager, of course, being the closest to the employees. Then that's who they go to for evaluations. And every year, like for example, in the place where I worked, we had this yearly 6-month evaluation. So if ever we get a bad evaluation, we'll be suspended or something. Yeah, something like that. But that pretty much makes it so that managers have control of their employees and that the employees look after them. But without all these things, it's really hard. Like a manager needs all these things. A manager needs to know how to control his employees. He or she needs to plan in order for the good of the company. They need to be organized so that nothing is chaotic around the company. I remember my old boss didn't know how to organize, so everything was messy, and it just made the place harder to work at. And then the last one's leading. Every manager needs to be a leader, but not all of them are. And it takes a special something to be a leader. And yeah, well, that is my video on the 4 functions of management. I hope you watched it. Sorry I kind of dragged it out too long. Thank you very much.